is a presentation of Real Wise Productions and Komen Media Incorporated. Two firings for the price of one. Next on Mentality. Welcome to another installment of Mentality, the place where iron sharpens iron in entrepreneurship, health, mental health, wealth, love, and brotherhood, all from a male perspective. I am one half of the hosts of the show, that is Cole Johnson, that's me, as joined always by the other half of this show, the man who goes by Lawman, goes by Bizarro, but I don't call him that.
Yeah, too many
One
nicknames.
Too many nicknames. One Mr. Wize El Jefe. How you doing, man?
What's going on, brother? How you?
Oh man, I'm doing good, doing real good. Carolyn Bryant Donham. Now, you might not know the name on face value. Some do, most don't. Well, she died at the age of 88 in Westlake, Louisiana, but the reason why she's important was because she was the white woman who was at the epicenter of the death of one Emmett Till back in 1955. So, of course, the story goes that Emmett traveled from Chicago down to Mississippi, where he, as a 14-year-old, looked at Donham, thought she was pretty, and basically made a gesture toward that. Well, of course, she complained to a few fools. They decided to put old Mr. Emmett Till in the back of a pickup truck and dragged him to death. The woman claimed a lot of things about the guy, but basically she lied about him. And the reason why this is being focused on is the boy who never got to be a man, who died all the way back in 1955, even to this day, still has not had justice done for his death. Now, why do you believe the Mississippi Supreme Court wouldn't bring Donham to justice for lying?
Why do I believe why?
Mm-hmm.
It's Mississippi. It's again. This is something we know. Is it hasn't even been that long where people of color gain their right to vote. It's like it's still been within the last 60 years or so, whatever it is, 70, whatever it's been.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy to think that you actually, because it was proven eventually that she lied and all this happened, and
Mm-hmm.
and they just refused to do anything about it. But when you still have people in office that still believe that ideology from that time, it makes difficult for change.
Sort of the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil type of thing. Yeah. It's amazing to me how.
Because now they want to erase it. It's like they want to erase. Like it didn't happen. We want to get rid of it. That to me. That's what it seems like.
It's amazing how those things just get excused so easily. And like you said, it's like out of sight, out of mind type of thing. Almost like it's a human magic trick that's being performed on us. Dwyane Wade. Now you know him as Wade County. You know him as number 3 for the Miami Heat. He now is retired and now I think he's a producer and a host of a game show, and of course he is I guess you could say a father advocate. And the reason why I put it that way is because more than likely people now know him as to be the advocate of his son turned daughter Zaya. Now he of course he's hung up his jersey and he now lives a life, even with part ownership of the Jazz, that's pretty nice. I mean, he's married to Gabrielle Union and has 2 other sons too, and another daughter. But he no longer lives in Florida. Now he was on the episode of Headliners. It was a show with Rachel Nichols, and he revealed that his decision to leave Florida stemmed from the state legislators proposing anti-LGBTQ plus policies. Disney is also suing Florida for not necessarily the same thing, but for similar types of things. Along with Disney suing Florida and Wade leaving the state, what's going on with Florida?
So they have a governor who has aspirations of the Oval Office, and
yes, he does,
and to rile up his constituents and get his fan base behind him.
I love that word.
He has the "don't say gay" policy. I guess that's what they're calling it in Florida.
That it is nicknamed that, yes.
So, yeah, it's again a party that's supposed to be about rights. You talk about just everybody's right to bear arms, and
but the individual rights, yeah.
But when it comes to someone wanting to be, listen, if you whatever you want to identify yourself as, that's you. That's your decision. That's your life. That's you. That's your life. And for anyone to say that, no, you can't, you gotta be this way because biology, whatever. Listen, let people live their lives. That's the problem nowadays, is government wants to try to control everything that we do. Or you have to. It's just so many sticking points, man. There's so many sticking points. Because I don't judge anyone, but then I do have certain opinions on other topics, like when it comes to women's sports. I don't think a transgender player who's gone through puberty as a male and then decides to switch should be allowed to play with women, because physically they are stronger.
Correct. I agree with you about Florida. I mean, you got Ron DeSantis, who he has eyes on DC. I think he needs to wait 4 more years to do it, because the party that he represents, I don't think they all feel him yet. He might do the things that they like, but as a party, they just simply don't feel him. And so I think he has an uphill struggle if he wants to try to be the guy to be the Republican candidate for president come the summer of next year. I don't see it happening. Now, he might put himself to be vice president. I doubt it. I think he's best served right now being governor of Florida and trying to actually try to adhere to what the people want, not to what his political desires lean. But that's the end of my soapbox on DeSantis. And then we get to the NFL. Yes, I know they're going through the draft, or they went through the draft, and everything seemed to be wonderful, and everything seemed to be pristine. It was great to celebrate young men finding and realizing their dreams, all 256 of them, I believe. But unfortunately, 5 of them this past week were suspended for violating the league's gambling policy. Now, amongst the group, you had 4 Lions and you had a Washington Commander. Now, 3 Lions were suspended for 6 games. You had a Lion and you had a Commander who suspended indefinitely for doing so, betting on NFL games during the NFL season. Now, all of them were suspended for doing it on betting, basically on NFL property. The others did not bet on NFL games. Now, the ones who were suspended definitely did.
You would think that them seeing Calvin Ridley get suspended would deter this such stupid moves.
I don't get it, man. So if you were the commissioner, how would you punish them?
Exactly the same way the way he dealt it. Like, first of all, Calvin Ridley got suspended for a year.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. He was suspended for a year and he had to reapply.
And it's crazy because Deshaun Watson had something a little bit more serious. He got suspended for 11 games, even though he had missed the entire year dealing with his legal issues, right? It blows my mind that you see that they punished a guy for betting on the sport more than they did a guy who had sexual allegations against him.
Yeah, with how many women? Yeah.
How many women? And you bet on a few games, and you're gonna, a bunch of you facing indefinite suspensions. Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it for a few extra dollars?
And that is what makes it even more head scratching. You're probably not picking up too much change, much more change than you're already making. And from what I understand, if you're on a squad team, you end up with 6 figures. So you're getting a decent check. Why would you want to screw that up? And miss me with the NFL is selling this stuff. It's hypocritical of them.
They're selling it to the average fan, to the regular fan, not to players. Not to players. It's to regular fans, the regular people. I'm sure as a player, you're watching ESPN, as an athlete, you're watching ESPN, and I'm sure you saw when Calvin Ridley got suspended.
Right. That was huge news.
That should have been a wake up call. Like, maybe I shouldn't bet.
Oh shoot, I can't do that.
Let me stop that. Let me stop this.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it boggles the mind. Like, you would think just the one, because I'm sure there was other players that were doing it.
I'm positive they were.
Calvin really get busted. Like, I'm gonna stop this right now.
I'm done.
Let me nip this on the bud. Then you get these are new candidates for morons of the year.
Oh my god!
But you gotta understand, they are morons. Like, seriously, you gotta be a moron to know.
I can't argue
that this rule is in place at work, at your job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and you're still doing it anyway.
We're just getting started. Mentality will return. This is a BS3 Network presentation.
It's your girl, Stacey Rose.
Are you looking for a show with riveting interviews, important community information from a vibrant and grounded host? STK Productions presents The Intro Kit.
Put God first and ask questions later. Let's get it popping. I wanted to give people a platform where they can express themselves and talk about their business and their endeavors in a very safe space.
Content and entertainment just for you. The Intro Kit.
Friday Eve.
Or Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central. What's on E. Dicker's mind?
A and B, I'm going to see my way out of it. Because why? I don't care. I have a message for people who do nothing but complain about black people. We can't change who we are. You called the cops on me? I think that every time you call the cop on someone on a false accusation, your need to be a little bit punished.
BS3 Network proudly presents a man with a lot to say and is unabashed to say it. What's on E. Digger's mind? Sundays at 7:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome back to Mentality, the show that is created for all men, with Wize and Cole Johnson. And this was a last-minute decision, but I figured, might as well talk about this. And we're going to commemorate one Jerry Springer. So to you, sir, cheers to you. Now, you know Jerry Springer as the controversial talk show host of The Jerry Springer Show.
Yes.
People might not know him as well or as much, but he before then served as the mayor of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I figured you would know, Bryce, because you're abreast of all those things. Well, he died this past week at the age of 76 from pancreatic cancer. And I was surprised as to the list of those famous, I should say, who were succumbed to that. The Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, Jeopardy host Alice Trebek, of course the Queen of Soul Aretha Franklin, and that's just a few of the ones who have gone down from pancreatic cancer. Well, Jerry also did the same thing. I'm sorry, 79, not 76. So we commemorate him, we celebrate him, and of course we have to talk about how he died and how we can prevent such a thing. So what things stood out to you regarding Jerry Springer?
He's gonna forever be known as an icon, man. He changed the landscape of daytime TV shows, like daytime hosting show. Like he Jerry was a game changer, man, for what he did.
Mhm.
People tuned into Jerry Springer to see who was going to get punched in the face next.
That's true. They did. And I had to admit, when I was of that age, I was one of them for at least a good 4 or 5 years.
We would be lying if we weren't saying we wasn't seeing Jerry, because we like to see them dudes who had multiple baby mamas and they come out swinging.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
be honest. We all enjoy a good train wreck.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And yes, I was one where I was like, okay, I just want someone I wish someone had a good Joe Frazier like left hook just to visit your face, man. Yeah. I'll admit, I've said that 2, 3, 4 different times watching Jerry Springer. Yeah, I've said that.
and he knew how to grab headlines. So
He did.
hats off, Jerry, man. It was of a ride. And
It was
the way he left as a politician was scandalous as well. So
true.
saying he lived his life, man.
Yeah, he did.
He lived the way he wanted to live. Hey, hats off to Jerry, because again, I've enjoyed plenty of Jerry Springer moments to tune into the train wreck. Somebody always was cheating or yeah.
In fact, I personally think Maury Povich should owe the second half of his career at least dedicate maybe 10% of his check to the Jerry Springer estate.
Listen, that he is not the fault. That's a lot.
Yes.
That has to do a lot with Jerry, because Jerry was the first one to be doing stuff like that.
Yes,
And then
he was.
became a staple on the Maury Povich show.
Mm-hmm.
But Jerry was the first. I got DNA proof right here. Say you ain't the father, like, and what? And dudes just get buck wild. Chicks used to get.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, you see ratchetness from all races.
All races. Yeah, he did not discriminate.
Oh, he did not. All races
that I did love about. Yeah,
had their fan favorites.
Oh yeah, they most certainly did. And I loved how he allowed for the fights to happen, and then when he learned how the show was going to run, then he had his security head Steve become popular.
who has his own show, the Steve Wilkes Show,
and now he has his own show, right?
Yes. But no, Jerry was a pioneer, man.
Yeah, he was
definitely provided entertainment.
Gosh, yes. Oh, yes, he did. All right, so do you think he helped out, or do you think he hurt the daytime talk show genre?
He saved it.
You think he saved it? Wow,
he saved it, man. Because there was not a lot of people tuning into daytime, man, like that.
Yeah, true.
There wasn't many people tuning into nothing like that. But you would tune into Jerry.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I know you remember the Donahue show.
Yeah.
That was daytime talk show before Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
And it was that, and of course later on it was Oprah too. And when you thought about daytime talk shows, that's who you thought about, and that was the model you saw.
Yeah.
And then here comes Jerry Springer.
And he flips the game on his head.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And the thing is, I always liked the guy. I never had 1 ounce of I can't stand that guy. I never had that thought cross my mind once.
I don't think anyone had. Like, Jerry just comes off with that swag. Like, he knew what he was doing. Like, to me, Jerry was unique. He had his own style. He just epitomized being yourself, and Jerry, yo, man, his shows again to me were entertaining, and it just went to show. It's like people be like, "Oh, he's exploiting these people." Like these people gained some notoriety from this, man. They went back home and they became instant celebrities.
Right.
So
Yeah,
everybody benefited. All is not like, oh, he took advantage. Like everybody gained from it.
Yeah, it's to the point where you now see people who be, like you said, become overnight celebrities on other shows of the similar ilk. I mean the Cash Me Outside, How About That Girl from Dr. Phil
is a multi-millionaire.
Now she's multimillionaire because of that appearance on the show.
Because it helps her rap career out.
Mm-hmm.
So now, and I don't hate on it. Like, yo, get that bread, boo.
Get that money. Yeah, get that money.
Listen,
but yeah,
marketing and branding, especially in this digital age, if you do it correctly,
that's all I can do.
Yeah, that's what you're. People are always gonna go after the clickbait, the titles that again, like I said, we love to see train wrecks. So they're always gonna go after the drama and or after people that, oh man, this is the go outside girl. Let me check what she got. And she's taking advantage of it. Hey, you can't knock it.
No, and I certainly am not. More power to her. What does his death signal for you?
Oh man, end of an era, man. It's an end of an era of. Again, I guess a lot of people, if you know what, a lot of people dwell on nostalgia. Like Jerry's always gonna be Jerry. Like he's especially for people in our age group that are gonna remember him for what he did as far as TV. Right. And I enjoyed it's like now how we create content for other people. Listen, I respect what Jerry did. 79. That's
79.
It's a long time. It's a long time to be here on this earth. And he did what he wanted. He went out as one of the greatest to do it, man.
Yeah.
So his legacy to me it's gonna be of a rebel, of someone who changed the game.
Mentality will be back in 2 and 2.
This is all docked up.
Chris, listen, I gotta go to work, Jay. I cannot take a shot every time we say enemies. Very jealous. I'm not gonna lie, you guys.
So he flies her out. She says, "Thank you. That was very kind of you." Like, Pernilla's not starstruck. She was like, "Yeah, you ought to if you want me to come." I wasn't gonna foot the bill.
Heroes.
He literally threatened her. His message says, "I see you blocked me on WhatsApp. I don't know why, but this is not gonna turn out good for you. Because I blocked you on WhatsApp? You threatened me and my mama?"
You have to learn to live with yourself before you can make a commitment of yourself to someone else.
When you go to something that's already structured, like the church, I don't need to go in there thinking I'm the pastor. It's like already one set up, you know what I'm saying?
It just had everything, but I learned, you know what I'm saying? Everything I did, I learned from.
So we look forward to seeing you same time, same place. Know that we love you, God loves you more. Continue to stay safe, do the right thing, stay out of trouble.
Conversation that informs a community. Brothers of Legacy. Every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Now we're going to delve into two others, and not necessarily because they died, but because their particular stints where they are died. And we're going to touch on Tucker Carlson, and we're going to touch on Don Lemon in an extended version of Power Moves. Now, up first is Don Lemon. Now, you might have heard this guy, might not have heard of this guy, but he was on CNN for 17 years. He actually hosted a nighttime spot at the 10 p.m. hour for, I think, 8 years on the network. He recently got transferred to the morning show back in September, and its stint only lasted 7 months before CNN decided to give the boot to the hiney of one Mr. Lemon. Now, it was to Lemon's surprise that he did receive the firing, because he said that he felt as though this was something that should not have come from his agent. It should have come from the network. But CNN, they came back and said, well, hey, we invited you into the office. You did not want to be invited to the office, so we relayed the message to your agent. Now, there has been many controversial things about him. Of course, early this year, he talked about presidential candidate Nikki Haley with her political prowess is past her prime. He said that back in February. He had a rather controversial conversation with another GOP presidential candidate. And then there are allegations of Lemon being disrespectful toward women. Nancy Grace is one, Soledad O'Brien being another. And then there is the fact that the fool was drunk on New Year's every year, but I'm not going to go there. All right. I'll start this way. How long do you think Lemon had before CNN wanted to get rid of him?
Man, I think CNN been wanting to get rid of him for a minute now, man. I think since they canceled his show and transferred him, they've been trying to find a way to get him off the air.
So that would be about 7 months. Woo! Yep, I agree.
Yeah, for the last year, yeah, they've been after him. But you gotta say, when you put a target on yourself for some of the stuff you say, eventually it's gonna. You always say that it's a free country. You say what you want to say, but sometimes you got consequences you got to answer for.
That's right.
So his consequence was he lost the job.
Ouch.
And now I don't know. Was he left, right? I don't even know what the hell's the difference between the two. But
he leans left.
Okay, so now the left has lost a champion. I'm sorry, I didn't even believe that. That's when I said it. But
I love how you said that, though.
Oh man. But yeah, now the left have lost a voice for them. And it's a shame. It really is a shame that he's lost his position at CNN.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, it's not.
No. I agree with you. I'm rolling with the opposite for this reason. I just found him entertaining. You know, like when Jussie Smollett went through his stuff, and we talk about back in the winter of 2019. When he claimed that MAGA supporters beat him up and beat him down, it turned out that he hired two Nigerian guys that he knew to perform a beatdown, and I put it in quotes. Don was like, I know Jussie, he's a friend of mine. This is abhorrent whoever did this to him, they must be brought to justice. But that tune changed mighty hard about a month later when he was like, I really don't know Jesse. He's like a friend of a friend. You know what I mean?
Like, I know him, but I don't know him.
I know
like,
him, but I don't.
Like, he's a friend of my friend Jane. Like, what? Like, seriously?
That is what I'm going to miss, because I found that to talk about must see television. I found that to be must see. That was hilarious. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, Don, why'd you have to walk it back that hard, my man? So for those who don't know, I know Wize does. He also is gay. That's him.
Yes, he is.
And he's proudly that. He's shown off his boyfriend often. But seemingly with an array of many women co-hosts or co-workers at CNN, it almost seems as if this guy has an issue. I mentioned a few of those names: Solette O'Brien, Nancy Grace. There was others. Kira Phillips.
Then it's like, it'd be another. Like right now, if I really wanted to go like how I wanted to go, I would be described as a homophobe, right? If I was to attack him in any way, like if hypothetically I call them
I'm laughing at the hypothetically part. I'm sorry. He is. I'm sorry, man. He is. I'm sorry. He is, man. He is.
But it's yeah, he's like,
thank
someone
you.
who would act like that towards women.
Thank you. Yes, he is. And that's the reason why I would say it. Yes. Because I'll ask this: do you believe he has a problem with misogynistic views? And people who don't know what misogyny means, it means you have an active hatred as a man toward women.
Yes. Does he hate women? Yes.
And I agree with you. And that is what makes him the word that you hypothetically you're saying you want to say about
hypothetically, yes, he's
but I really believe he is for that. Because unfortunately there's just too many women who are saying no, the dude is a problem. He's problematic. I've heard one too many
women. He has it in for women.
Whatever your opinion is about Nikki Haley, who yes she is from the GOP. She served as a UN ambassador during the Trump administration. She before then served, I believe it was a couple terms as South Carolina governor. The fact that this dude said that she, at the age of 51, is past her prime, yet we live in a country, and so does he, where we selected a 74-year-old in 2016 and then a 78-year-old in 2020 to be president of the United States. Yes, I know they're both are men. Still, we elected them to be president 2+ decades beyond a woman who was past her prime. So if he thinks that Nikki Haley was past her prime, what does he think about Hillary Clinton, who ran as a Democratic presidential candidate at 69? So who will replace Don Lemon in being a drunken, stupid idiot on live television New Year's? And yes, that is a legitimate question I'm asking.
Andy Cohen?
But see, unlike Lemon, I would find him entertaining, not because Cohen's white and Lemon is black. No. It's because I actually do find Cohen entertaining, and I find Lemon to be a train wreck. I really fell for Brooke Baldwin most of the time that when she was paired off with him. I'm like, Lord have mercy. So you had to be his designated driver basically the whole time. By the time the calendar turned to October and you looked at what you had to do for the next 3 months and you saw December 31st, oh, heck, I got to go to New Orleans, or I got to go to New York, or I got to go to Nashville with this bumbling, stumbling idiot. Ugh. Why? Can you get me off of this or kick him out and I can just do it by myself? I know you had to say those words, Brooke. I know you had to.
No, she ain't worried about it no more.
No, she don't have to worry about it anymore because she no longer works for CNN.
And neither does he.
and neither does he. Later we will have Thoughts from the Throne. This is Mentality. The Mocha Minutes Podcast. A black person safe space. Well, I'll let Stephanie talk about it further.
You would be a Michael J. White. I'm sorry. No. I like him. He's so pretty when he don't talk. Would Will Smith, if this was a white comedian, would he went up and slapped him? Would y'all have a problem with it if it was a white comedian doing this? People who say water or wash, I'm like, how did wash get an R in it? Stand up! I don't know why 5 Heartbeats just popped in my head. Stand up!
From entertainment to society and culture, that comprises of the Mocha Minutes Podcast, hosted by Stephanie. There's a 100% chance of a laugh thunderstorm. 4 men with different viewpoints take a movie, show, or documentary and review it uncensored, unfiltered, uncompromised, with no holds barred. Join BS3, Wilkes, King Dog, and H-Rap B as they take on Hollywood their own way. BS3 Network proudly presents The Forecast, where H-Rap B always predicts,
if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
live every Monday at 8:30 p.m. Central. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure. Welcome back to Mentality, where iron sharps iron in all the realm of men. With Wize and I'm Cole Johnson. Now we talked about Don Lemon's axing. It's now time to talk about Tucker Carlson's from Fox. So, of course, all of these things took place 1 week ago. And with Tucker, the firing was due to the wake of the Dominion voting system's lawsuit and fallout from it. And my co-host said it best. Once he was fired, if I'm not mistaken, I think Fox lost, I think they said they lost about $2 billion because of his axing, I think. Some ridiculous large fee like that. And I'm like, wow, okay. So Carlson will no longer be on your sets at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Now, his last show was the Friday before last, and you didn't get an indication that his time was gone because he basically said on that show, quote, "See you Monday, have a great weekend," close quote. Now, the release said two parties, quote, "have agreed to part ways," close quote. The lawsuit litigations that took place before it was going to go to trial. It was leaked in March that one Mr. Tucker Carlson, quote, passionately, close quote, hated Donald Trump. And that he couldn't handle much more of what they were doing at Fox, and he couldn't truly wait to stop covering what my part is called Orange Man, what I've heard Busta Rhymes call him Agent Orange. But yes, there's texts saying that Tucker couldn't wait to stop covering. Why lie and not say the man was fired?
Because they thought that by saying that, oh, we parted ways amicably, whatever, that his audience would be like, oh, okay, you decided to quit together, okay. And as you can tell by the audience of that next show on Monday, the viewership dropped half.
Mm-hmm.
And Fox lost whatever billion amount.
Mm-hmm. And that's on top of paying. That's on top of paying me voting $787.5 million from settling their lawsuit. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh. Mm.
So they felt maybe they have to recoup some of that by firing Tucker. I don't know.
That is what they thought. That's exactly what they thought. So you had all of these texts that were made public by Tucker Carlson, and it basically was condemning, at least to him being at Fox still. So did he wreck himself in texting that he passionately hated Trump? And if so, why did he?
Oh, man. Who knows the answer to that? That's the $1 million question. Because and it's crazy. This is why people need to wake up, is because perception was that he was this big supporter, big fan of Trump, pushing his agenda. Oh, Trump couldn't do this, and this, right?
Right. And
now comes to find out that he didn't care for the man whatsoever. But that's not the narrative he was pushing.
Right.
So when it comes to a situation like that now, like, can I really trust what you're saying to me from now on? If I'm one of his supporters and loyalists, like, you've been pushing this man on us, saying that this is the man for the job, and deep down inside, you can't stand the man. What does that say of you? You're pushing this narrative, but deep down inside, this is not what you believe in.
And to me, that is what I find to be problematic. That last sentence right there. I go to these personalities because I want to trust in what they say, because I feel as though what's coming out of their mouths is what they fully, wholeheartedly believe. Like, if you believe that, and you might, and others might say you're wrong, but if you do believe that Donald Trump is what's good for the country and you wholeheartedly believe it, okay, cool. Of course, you're going to have others who disagree, but that doesn't matter. If you fully believe it, then that's fine. But if you're saying this in public, but in private you're saying he's a pain in the tuchus, he's a pain in the backside, and we're saying this stuff because we're getting paid lots of money to do it, that is problematic.
Yeah.
And that is antithetical to what you're supposed to be as a journalist.
Yeah. You're supposed to all right, I get it, you're supposed to be non-biased, but if you truly don't support this man, how are you pushing this agenda? That's what I don't understand.
That's what I still don't understand. That's what I still don't understand.
That's why no one trusts the media, no one respects the media, because of stuff like that.
And the funny thing is, so for those who might not know Tucker Carlson's path, he was on CNN, and he hosted, or co-hosted, I should say, sort of like a First Take-ish style, but it was politics, called Crossfire, and sitting sitting across from him was, oh gosh, I'm seeing the guy and I cannot remember his name. Democratic strategist. He went to LSU. I'm seeing the guy. I cannot picture his doggone name.
George Carville.
Is it George? James Carville. That's
James
it.
Carville.
Thank you.
I knew something. Thank
you. James Carville.
It's George Stephanopoulos and James Carville. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. James Carville. So they had a show, of course. It was obvious Tucker was representing the right and Carville represented the left. And I came to actually like the guy because I was like, okay, he's clean cut. Then he was wearing a bow tie and he was looking Poindexter-ish. But then he gets to Fox, he sort of lets his hair down and he becomes the number one guy on the network, replacing Bill O'Reilly, who he decided to have a hoe on the side. So Tucker replaces him. He has the highest rated show on the network. And just about everybody who thinks about Fox, they first think of him. And why not? Because he did represent what the network was about. And then we get to 2023, we see these tags saying, I just ain't riding with the guy who we have thrown literally our money behind for the last 7.5 years. Really? I'm with you. How can we believe this guy if basically you're saying that what you have performed was a sham?
Yeah.
I just don't know what Fox can do in order to stem the tide. I really don't know, because what made Tucker appealing was that he had an all-American type of look. Like Sean Hannity doesn't. He looks like he is a New Yorker. a New York guy. Laura Ingraham, she looks like a New York woman.
Yeah.
I can't grab they have an appeal that can extend itself beyond the area basically where they live, because I know they live in New York. Nationally I can't see them extend beyond that. To Tucker and to Don. Unfortunately, no two firings could have happened to better men than the two of you. Because one wants to act as though he's the big shot, and the other wants to just simply act. And now, thoughts from the throne.
For my thought today is, I just want to give a big shout out, man. Big happy 50th birthday to my brother, Cole Johnson, for allowing me to be on this journey with him and help and allowing this vision of ours to really flourish and take off. And bro, I am blessed to have you in my life. Enjoy your birthday weekend. I hope when this airs, the birthday will have passed, but I hope you enjoy your birthday weekend, brother. Have a great time. Again, it's an honor to be able to do mentality with you. I greatly appreciate you, and let's just keep doing it, man. Let's keep rocking it out, brother. And I love you, man.
Wow. Thank you so much, man. Wow. That means a lot. Thank you, bro. Thank you. So last week I talked about how I was going to feel turning 50. Now I have already turned it. Man, there's a lot of thoughts that get run through my mind. I'm thinking about how things have been when I was a child, how things have been when I was a teenager, how things were when I was a young adult. And now that I'm in the prime of my life, how things are just starting to shape itself. Now, my wonderful brother talked about how he was just feeling like he was locked in and in the zone. That's how I've been feeling the last 2 months. It's if everything has just been lining itself perfectly to where it's like I feel as though I now am locked in to who I am on this earth. And part of it is to touch people like my brother Wize, where I get a chance to have the privilege of sharing a space and be my fully self at the same time. To have a platform where I can speak truth to all of you, and I can speak truth the way I have lived it to all of you, makes the journey of life worthwhile. And now that I am experiencing the 51st trip around the sun for me, I'm in the best time of my life. I really am loving every single thing that is coming my way, including this show, including my brother, and including all of you. All I can say to you all is thank you, and live your life. Live it to the fullest, and you will enjoy every single thing that comes back to you. Because if you pour good out into the world, there's going to be a lot of good that comes right back to you. Wize is living proof, and so is yours truly. Thank you for all the wishes. Thank you for all the love. You all are the reason why I'm doing this and why we're doing this. And those are thoughts from the throne. Man, and I love you too, man. You're such a wonderful, wonderful person, man. It's a blessing to get to know somebody at this stage of my life. It really is, man.
Yeah. But no, man, I'm excited, man. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. And that's another thing. We're just getting started. That's what I love. Do you have anything else before we get on out of here?
Nah. Nope. I'm good for the day. Another great show. Thank you.
It is. Oh, man. Thank you, man. And thank all of you out there for liking, for sharing, for subscribing, for paying attention to any short or any episode or any other thing that we do. We know it. We hear it. We appreciate it. And we thank you for it. And we love all of you. And that will do it for another episode of Mentality. For Wize and Cole, I am Cole Johnson, here to say in parting as we always do, our secret technique is that we always speak with mentality. See you next week.
Peace.
That's 100.